Hello, my friend. Welcome again. Welcome back to Mulenge Speaks Project Part 5. Today we are going to talk about the immigration and the migration of the Banyarwanda into the western part of the Rwanda, which is the eastern part of the DRC today. And so last time in Part 4 we tried to talk about the factors that contributed to their immigration in that region. And we mentioned the famine, and here we have in mind the famine of which was called Rwakahirura famine, which occurred in 1928 to 1929. We also mentioned the coup d'etat of Ruchuchu in 1896 by then the young king Yuhi V Musinga, who was held by his mother, Queen Mother Kanyogera. And we also mentioned the exile or relegation of the same King Musinga in the Belgium Congo in present Katanga province. We also mentioned the resettlement of ousted other cattle herder dynasties around Central Kingdom of Rwanda. We also talk about the contribution of the Belgium and German to the system of social stratification, social system that divided the Hutu from the Tutsi. We also talk about what Rwabugiri himself did to his neighbors. And so, for example, in his study, Mr. Neil Dabelstein wrote, I quote, Rwabugiri administration 1860 to 1895 imposed a harsh regime on the formerly semi-autonomous Tutsi and Hutu lineage, confiscating their lands and breaking their political power. So following Rwabugiri's death, many areas occupied by his army broke away, diminishing the domain of the kingdom. And if you ask a question, those military power or military or soldier who broke away, where did they go? Many of them did not return into the kingdom. They were scattered around. And so I call all these factors, those are internal factors. But to be true to African history, we have also to consider external factors. And one of them would be the military campaign that were conducted by Rwabugiri himself, who reigned from 1860 to 1895. And so all study and the research on the history of Rwanda point to one powerful king and the architect of Rwanda expansion, King Rwabugiri Kigeri IV. In his 1972 study, J.K. Rennie called King Rwabugiri the expansionist ruler. And also in his own 1974 study called Rwabugiri Wars Campaign, a chronology and bibliography, David Newbury, he has retired now. He's an American professor of history. He used to teach at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He recorded several military campaigns conducted by this king against his neighbors. And so in the west of Lake Kivu and the River Ruzizi, he conducted some military campaign against the kingdom of Bahunde, the kingdom of Bahavu, and the kingdom of Bashi. But we know from history that all these kingdoms in the west part of the Lake Kivu resisted the control and the annexation to the kingdom of Rwanda. And so when King Rwabugiri conducted all these campaigns, not all the kingdom that he was occupying were annexed to the kingdom of Rwanda. For example, the kingdom of Bukunzi, which is, I believe, presently in the district, in the Rusizi district in present Rwanda, was still independent, even into the 20th century. So it was only annexed to the kingdom of Rwanda in 1925 with the help of the Belgium. So what lesson can we learn from the expansion project by Rwabugiri? I found 4 lessons we can learn here, 4 or 5. The first lesson would be that during the campaign in the west of Lake Kivu, Rwabugiri lost many of his lieutenants and soldiers. 2. The kingdom he was attacking were already established with political, military, and social structure, including a defined ethnic citizenship. 3. After his defeat, in his fight with the Bashi, for example, Newbury wrote, I quote, "At Bushi, Rwabugiri suffered defeat after defeat." In French, he wrote, "Au Bushi, Rwabugiri subit défaite sur défaite." We can find that at page 187. And so many of his fighters never returned to Rwanda court. Number 4, Rwabugiri never succeeded to annex the Bahunde and the Bahavu and the Bashi. In fact, he died in the Bushi, or he died fighting with the people of Bushi. And number 5, to this day, we haven't found yet a study or a collection of study or research or any person who has found that Rwabugiri has conducted a military campaign or has annexed or has attacked or has did some razzia, the stealing of cattle in the kingdom of Bavira or Bafuliru or Babembe or Bashi or not Bashi but Bavira, Bafuliru, Banyindu, Babembe or Barega. There is no study that shows that the Rwabugiri conducted some military campaign in this kingdom, though they were already existing, but he never set his foot in this kingdom. So we found out that many of the Banyarwanda who remained or came with Rwabugiri to fight, to attack the Bashi, the Bahunde, many of them remained. And so we found out during our collection of data, we combined the internal and the external campaign factors, and all these factors gave birth to the Banyarwanda that we found today in Eastern Congo, namely in the province of South Kivu, especially in the kingdom of Bafuliru, and where specifically in Mulenge, in Irambi, and Bwegera. In the kingdom of Bavira, we found them in Galie, in Kishembwe, and Bijombo. In the kingdom of the Barega, we found the Batusi in the region of Itombwe, and in the kingdom of the Babembe, we found the Banyarwanda in the region of Ngaja and Minembwe. So these Banyarwanda are what we will be dealing with in the next clip and explain the conflict that is happening as we speak. So if they deny that they are not from Rwanda, they have proved to you, my viewer, and to myself and to my people, my traditional leaders, where did they come from? If they came from heaven or they just came from nowhere, they have to prove where was the limitation of their kingdoms, who was their leading lineage, who was their king, and how come in these 4 kingdoms, in Babembe, Barega, Bafulero, and Bavira, they had those kingdoms. They have to show in each of these kingdoms where they were situated and how they structured their military and their economic and political structure to come to the and claim that they have land ownership. And so I hope that you remain with us, and especially you read the book. Try to read again the book. Try to buy the book at Amazon or Celebrix. Order the book, read, and so you can have more information about what we are talking today, so that when we go into the detail to explain each of these places where the Banyarwanda are found today, so you have a broader understanding of what we are talking about. So we hope that we'll see you next time, and I encourage you to buy the book again and read these clips, and when we meet next time, we'll be happy to hear what we have provided for you. So till now, take care, good night, and see you next time. Bye bye.